Let's see the example 2. Suppose that sine s equals 3/5 and sine t equals negative 12/13. S is in the quadrant 1, t is in quadrant 3. Find cosine s plus t. Okay, we have learned that formula cosine. So if I have cosine s plus t, that is cosine s times cosine t minus sine s sine t. But the given information is sine s sine t here. The missing information is cosine s cosine t. That means my first step is find the cosine s and cosine t. How to find the cosine s and cosine t? The given information is sine s equals 3/5, and s is in the first quadrant. So s in the first quadrant. How to find the cosine s? Sine s is y/r. And can you from the y/r find the x? Yes, we can, because I know x squared plus y squared equals 1. So equals r squared. So the x equals square root of r squared minus y squared. And the x is positive or negative, it all depends on where is the angle s. In the first quadrant, s is positive. So it equals positive square root of 5 squared minus 3 squared. So that is 4. Okay, we got the x. Can you find the cosine s? Cosine s equals x over r. We found the x, 4, and the r is 5. So cosine s is 4/5. And how about the cosine t? So sine t is given. So sine t equals negative 12/13, and t in Q3. And sine t equals y/r. Can you find the x and then find the cosine t by x over r? Yes, we can, because the x is square root of r squared minus y squared. So y, we assume the y equals negative 12. And r is positive 13 minus negative 12 squared. And the value of the x is positive or negative. It all depends on where is the t. T in the third quadrant, x is negative, x, y, they are all negative. So by the computation, I can find that this is negative 5. So I have the x value, r's value. Can you find the cosine t? Cosine t equals x over r. It is negative 5/13. Negative 5/13. Now let's find what is cosine s plus t. So cosine s plus t is cosine s times cosine t minus sine s times sine t. Cosine s is 4/5. You need to find it from the question. We find it here. And cosine t is negative 5/13 minus sine s, 3/5. Sine t, negative 12/13. Let's simplify the expression. It's negative 20/65. Is that 13? Yes, 65. And then plus, because here is minus, and then we have 36/65. What is the addition? We have positive 16/65. This is a solution. And we also need to find what is the cosine s minus t. Okay, cosine s minus t is cosine s times cosine t. Not cotangent, that's cosine t. and then plus sine s times sine t. That is 4 over 5 times negative 5 over 13 plus 3 over 5 multiplied by negative 12 over 13. And we have negative 20 over 65 minus 36 over 65. So we have negative 56 over 65. All right, let's see next example. Suppose that cosine s equals negative 8 over 17 and cosine t equals negative 3 over 5. And given that s and t are in the quadrant 3, find cosine s plus t, cosine s minus t. Okay, if I'm looking for this, I must have all the cosine s and cosine t and the sine s, sine t. And the question gives us cosine, cosine. But the sine and sine, they are missing. That means we need to find the sine t and sine t and sine s first. So let's find the sine s first. So cosine s equals negative 8 over 17. Cosine equals x over r. And can you find the y? So the y equals square root of r squared minus x squared. And in which quadrant? Third quadrant, remember, you must have a negative value of the y. So we have negative square root of 17 squared minus negative 8 squared, because our x is negative 8. What is this? So if I can use my calculator, I will find this is negative 15. Okay, so how about the sine s? Sine s equals y over r. That's negative 15 over 17. Okay, how about the sine t? So we know that cosine t equals negative 3 over 5. And this is the x over r. So x equals negative 3, r equals 5. The y for the cosine t is in the third quadrant. Remember, we have a negative sign here. Square root of r squared minus x squared equals square root of negative square root of 5 squared minus negative 3 squared. It is 4, negative 4, sorry. So sine t equals y over r. This is negative 4 over 5. So we found all the information. We need the formula. Cosine s plus t equals cosine s cosine t minus sine s sine t. So cosine s negative 8 over 17, cosine t negative 3 over 5, minus sine s is negative 15 over 17, and sine t negative 4 over 5. Okay, so negative, negative, positive, 24, and the bottom is 85. And minus negative, negative, positive, minus 60 over 85. What is that? That is negative 36 over 85. And nothing can be simplified. This is my solution. How about cosine? The second one is cosine s minus t. Use the formula cosine s times cosine t, and the plus sine s sine t. So let's put all the information in it. Negative 8 over 17 times negative 3 over 5, and then plus negative 15 over 17 times -4/5. Let's do a computation. Positive 24/85 plus this is 60/85. So we're having 84/85. Okay, let's see next example. Number C, suppose cosine S equals -1/5 and sine T equals 3/5. S and T, they are in the quadrant 2. Find cosine S plus T and cosine S minus T. We need to find what is the sine S. We need to find what is the cosine T. So let's do this one first. So by the given information, we have the cosine S is -1/5. Cosine equals x over r. So x equals -1, r equals +5. And what is the y's value? Y equals square root of r squared minus x squared. And positive or negative in the second quadrant for the y. Y is positive because ASTC. In this quadrant, all the y's value, a point here, y's value, they are positive all the time. Okay, so let's put all the value in it. I have 5 squared minus -1 squared. So I'm having 25 minus 1, 24, square root of 24. Can you simplify this? 24 equals 4 times 6. Let's bring the 4 outside. It's 2 square root of 6. And how about the sine S? Sine S equals y over r is 2 square root of 6 over r is 5. Okay, we found the sine S. How about the cosine T? So sine T is given is 3/5. T is in the second quadrant. And sine T, it is y over r. So how about the x? Let's find the x. So x equals square root of r squared minus y squared. Remember, sine, oh, sorry. In the quadrant 2, so sine is positive. But how about the x? Sine is positive, but in the second quadrant, the x is negative. In the second quadrant, the point here, x is negative, for example, -5. So I cannot have a positive solution. Okay, that's negative square root of 5 squared minus 3 squared. So I'm having -4. All right, so the cosine T equals -4/5. Okay, we have a lot of information. Let's find what is the cosine S plus T. So cosine S plus T is cosine S times cosine T minus sine S, sine T. Cosine S is -1/5. Cosine T is -4/5 minus sine S. Sine S is 2 square root of 6/5. Sine T is 3/5. So we have 4/25 minus 6 square root of 6/25. This is 4 minus 6 square root of 6/25. Okay, and what is cosine S minus T? This is cosine S times cosine T plus sine S times sine T. We have -1/5 times -4/5 plus 2 square root of 6/5 times 3/5. This is 4/25 plus 6 square root of 6/25. This is 4 plus 6 square root of 6/25. All right, we're done for today's video. If you have any question, let me know. If you feel this chapter, this lesson is so short, you can continue to watch next video. Have a good one. See you next video.